going on, guys? It's your boy the Cash Critic, back with another YouTube video on this lovely Sunday. So, two things. I'm literally only going to be fishing in this video because I need to get on my fishing grind, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very low. Second thing, we're going to be discussing the last three main card fights that happened on UFC 280 and the results and your opinions on what you guys really thought, because I was really utterly shocked. All my picks were actually incorrect per usual for some odd reason, but it is what it is. So the last three main card fights, if you guys don't know, is Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley, TJ Dillashaw versus Aljamain Sterling, Charles Do Bronx Oliveira versus good old Islam Makhachev, right? So three absolute bangers. The whole card itself was a banger, to say the least, right? We had a ton of good cards, and Beneil Dariush was on there. He had a great scrap with Gamrot, right? We had Caitlin Chookagian on there. Not a fan, but still. Either way, you know, even the preliminary fights were absolutely outstanding. But, like I said, let's get the fish grind going, and then we'll really just discuss those fights in particular. So let me go ahead and get some bait on here. We're doing some saltwater fishing. Glowworm bait. Obviously, need to place that on there. You know what I'm saying? Boost my skilling. And bam. Okay, we like that. Alright, first things first. We gotta talk about it, right? Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan. And the thing, I'm pretty sure everyone's pretty shocked about it. There's gonna be those people, right? Obviously, oh, well, you know, this, and that. Technically, Peter really didn't do much on the ground, blah, blah, this, right? Okay. All right. Let's clear the air. Sean O'Malley was clearly shocked himself that he even won that fight. You can just see it right off his face. The fight itself, right, went the distance, all three rounds, and I was impressed. Sean O'Malley, you know, at the beginning, I really said, Peter Yan's really going to take this by whatever way he wants. With the exception that I knew, okay, we got a nice little clam, that I knew Sean wasn't going to get absolutely stampeded on, but I really did see Peter Yan most likely going to dominate the fight if it got past round one. That being said, obviously the fight was phenomenal, right? So each had back and forth action. Sean O'Malley putting out more volume, right? Not landing as much, but more volume. Peter Yan with the absolute power in his hands, throwing a lot of mean body kicks, which was absolutely phenomenal. And his takedown game was obviously much more superior. So I think that's the main thing that everyone has a question about, right? Is really the fact that the takedowns and the ground control really didn't actually matter, I guess you could say, or really count. Now me and my friends ourselves, right, we were all talking about it. You know, it was a huge fight, so we were watching every single one. And a lot of us, well, many of them were saying, right, yeah, Peter took Sean O'Malley down, but ultimately didn't do anything with it. Now, that being said, this isn't a kickboxing match, right? You're taking someone down, you're scoring to ground control, you're scoring to not necessarily takedowns, but control time, right? And that technically goes for octagon control, which is something that the UFC actually does score to. Now, it blew my mind to go split decision to Sean O'Malley, only because, I mean, if you look at the fight yourself, you think Peter Yan pretty much won this unanimously. And that's just obviously my own opinion, as my username is the Cash Critic. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has their own opinions. But let me know what you guys think about that fight. I had it definitely Peter Yan, maybe 1-2. So I had two rounds to Peter, and then 1 round to Sean O'Malley. But, you know, I'm not trying to nag on Sean O'Malley. I'm not a hater for Sean O'Malley. I love the guy. I like the hype train that he has behind him. He has that Conor McGregor flair to him. His striking is absolutely insane. He's very, very, very fluid with his striking. Flows very nicely. He mixes it up crazy. And I know his jiu-jitsu ground game is actually extremely good as well. Obviously, we didn't see that during this fight with Peter, but we really got to see Sean O'Malley get tested. His chin got tested. Ooh, look at that. We got a nice little starfish. Never had that before. Hopefully, by the end of the discussion, guys, I'm maybe around 35 fishing, so that'll be kind of cool. His chin definitely got tested. Peter Yan's chin got tested, right? It's been tested before, but got tested again. And all around, it was a very, very exciting fight. I was highly, highly disappointed that Peter Yan lost. I think this makes it 2 in a row where you could kind of see it's a little bit of a robbery, and the judges really not scoring it correctly. Not just for him, you know, we've seen this problem in the past regardless. But even you can see all the other fighters as well, right? Pretty much stating, hey, like, I don't even know how Peter Yan lost that fight, right? Like, how did Sean O'Malley win? And you can see Sean O'Malley's face. Obviously, he was extremely shocked when he did win. And you can tell he wasn't gloating. He wasn't going crazy when his hand got raised. And I think he understood the fact of what actually happened with the judges. Not saying that he didn't deserve it, right? It could have gone either way. I'm not saying I'm, like, extremely disappointed. I still think that Peter Yan should have won. But I'm happy for Sean O'Malley winning. Does this grant him a title fight? No, it doesn't grant him a title fight. I think he needs to face another top 5 opponent. And then from there, they'll just take it from there. That being said, right, give your thoughts down below on the stream. I mean, on the video itself. Place a comment down. Let me know what you guys thought about that fight and the whole card as a whole. Going on to the next one, right? Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. Man, oh man, pure dominance and utter dominance, right? And like I said, right, like my picks, just so you guys know ahead of time, I had Peter Yan winning. I had TJ Dillashaw regaining his belt. And then I had Charles do Bronx Oliveira winning as well. Obviously, all 3 rounds incorrect. All 3 picks were incorrect, so there's that. Good thing I only bet $25. But either way, right? Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw. The very first thing that happened within the first 20 seconds of that fight, I don't know how my line broke because I was doing... Oh, you know what? I might have to repair my fishing pole after this one. We'll see how it goes. But, first 20 seconds, Aljamain shoots, gets the takedown, and from there it was pretty much just a wrap, right? TJ's Dillashaw ended up posting out with his arm, and during that moment you can see his whole entire shoulder pop out. And from there it was pretty much just TJ Dillashaw holding on for his dear life, hoping that he doesn't even injure it much more. I guarantee you he's gonna need surgery on that shoulder. Either way, maybe rotator cuffs at that point. Got a squid. That's what I was actually shooting for, guys. I've been dying to get a squid. Let's repair my fishing bow though, because I have been using it a lot. So we'll do that. Thank you. And I think we should be better for casting now. But pure dominance, right? First round, TJ Dillashaw made it out alive. To be honest, it could have been stopped at the end. Oh, I just misclicked. Could have been stopped towards the end of that round regardless. You know, he was getting ground and pound. I would have been fine with the fight being stopped at that point. But, yeah, man. Everyone doubts Aljamain Sterling. And, you know, I'm like everyone else, I kind of doubted him too. And I really did think TJ Dillashaw was going to win. I really wish it was a more competitive fight at the end of the day. So that's the only thing I'm mostly disappointed about, because even though, yes, TJ Dillashaw is getting up there in age, yes, he's a vet of the game, right, in the bantamweight division at that point. But if you think about it, he really never lost that belt. He lost it to EPOs. That was really his only battle. So I really thought he was going to come back in with vengeance, especially after that performance with Corey Sandhagen. And Corey Sandhagen is an absolute animal himself, and that's no easy test to go through. And he earned his title shot pretty much, right? He didn't go back right into getting a title shot. He earned it back by beating Corey Sandhagen, which is an absolute barn burner of a fight as well. That being said, though, right, ended up getting stopped in the second round. Rightfully so. I mean, it was really just utter and pure dominance from Aljamain. He looked great. His stamina was phenomenal. His ground game was phenomenal. As always, right? Aljamain is an absolute problem when he gets on someone's back. His guillotine being his most important tool, I would say, especially when he's on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is better than many, right? Training under Matt Serra, Ray Longo, absolute phenomenal training partners over there in New York, Long Island, right? So he's got a lot going for him. Do I see Aljamain Sterling being a champion for a long, long time and being undefeated? No. I think someone is going to come across and ultimately, take the belt from him. But, time will tell. Who knows? Maybe it's Sean O'Malley. Who knows, right? When that time comes. But we won't know until that time actually comes, right? That being said, props to Aljamain for really putting it to TJ and making TJ really eat his words. I remember TJ literally saying throughout the whole press conference, throughout all the really media interviews, I'm going to show you what a D1 wrestler does. And as Aljamain said, this ain't a wrestling match. This is an MMA match. And that's what a D3 wrestler ended up doing to him. Took him down in literally 20 seconds. Keep in mind, his shoulder did not get dislocated until after that takedown due to posting out that arm. But also, either way, I don't even think TJ should have even taken the fight in the first place. As he said, his shoulder popped out, I believe, I'm not even paying attention, right? I believe more than like 20 times during the fight camp, like in the past 6 months, something like that. Don't quote me, I might be wrong. But that's absolutely insane. So, if that's the case, right, why take a fight? Just heal up and rest up, and then that way you'll be in tip-top shape to actually fight for a belt that way you can actually give the fans a fight that everyone wants to see and they deserve to. But that's what happened with that situation. Aljamain Sterling, of course, still the bantamweight champion of the world. And moving on to the very last one is Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. This one hit me in the soul, guys. This one was really, really disappointing for me. I really, really thought Charles do Bronx was going to submit him actually in the third round. And there were some moments in the fight which were questionable. I think it was the first round actually, where he ended up pulling guard for some reason, which obviously isn't bad. I know Charles loves being on his back either way. His black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is absolutely the best. I don't know what just happened there, but absolutely the best, right? So I'm not really worried at all ever when he gets taken down, and I knew he was going to get taken down from Islam. That's his specialty. He's a freaking Khabib Nurmagomedov prodigy. But even though that being said, I literally I was like, I don't even care if Islam takes him down, because I know Charles is going to submit him, or I know Charles is going to get back to his feet. His striking is way more superior. He mixes it up way more than Islam Makhachev, under my opinion. And regardless, I think people always doubt Charles from his past. And as you saw from his fight with Michael Chandler, as you saw with his fight with Dustin Poirier, his fight with Justin Gaethje, right? He constantly gets rocked. Every single fight, almost every fight, right? He gets cracked, falls to the ground, doesn't get finished, comes back and finishes the fight. And I think that's what really worries a lot of people when they actually see him fight. And I don't know why it's saying, are you still playing? Oh, it's because I'm fishing. See what I'm saying? I gotta actually move my character, guys. This is ridiculous. Doesn't even make any sense. But I think that's what really worries people when they actually place money on him or bet for him, is for that reason, because he gets rocked. His chin isn't all that great. But once he's on the ground, no one wants to go on the ground with him and try to finish him. Obviously, Islam Makhachev capitalized on that and ultimately ended up going on the ground with him and submitting. My first bluefish. Very exciting. Very exciting. Let me cancel this actually. And let me actually move. Because I guess, I'm not playing the game. So there's that. Islam capitalized on that, rocked him, was not scared to get on top of him, which many others obviously were, such as Dustin, such as Justin Gaethje. And ended up submitting the GOAT with submissions, right? Which is absolutely nuts. So good for Islam. Congrats to him to winning the belt. And I know Charles do Bronx will be back regardless. And I do see a rematch ultimately down the line. but we'll see when that time comes. So it will be very exciting. So there's that, right? All great fights either way. Let me know in the comments below of what you guys thought. Also, let me know what you guys think about Alexander Volkanovski apparently going to fight Islam Makhachev now for the belt, right? Islam obviously being the much bigger guy. Alexander Volkanovski being much shorter, but quick, right? His striking is unbelievable as well. His ground game is unbelievable as well. He's a tough, all-around, sturdy dude. So I'm excited either way to see that fight happen, if it does happen. But let me know your thoughts below. So that being said, guys, that's my opinion on UFC 280 with the last 3 fights specifically on the main card. Give me your reactions below. Put that notification bell on. And follow your boy, the Cash Critic, right? Follow me on Twitch. I stream as much as possible. I love recording these videos as much as possible, giving you guys some content, giving some open discussion. And trust me, more new content will be coming on the way. And, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the discussion at hand. So it's your boy, the Cash Critic. Peace out, and have another great Sunday night, people.